Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the reflection. I am Nisai, a Deputy Editor-in-Chief in charge of International News of ThmeyThmey Online News. I am moderating the discussion today. Our today's discussion is job or startup, and which we will discuss deeply whether having job and running startup are incompatible. And today we have three speakers. Our first speaker is Mr. Horn Osupia. He is a civil servant from Ministry of Foreign Affairs International Cooperation. And the second speaker is Mr. Rititol, and he is the co-founder of The Small World. And the last speaker, Mr. Kim Norit, is the managing director of the Desk co-working space. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today. Let me begin with the trend of the society. When our society become even more developed, a lot of people talk about entrepreneur, and some people also see it as opportunity to enjoy a new level of professional, even financial, and also personal freedom. They believe that they will have more freedom and more finance if they run their own business. But I think there's still a lot of debate on whether they should quit job to run the business and also to do it both at the same time. Let me begin with the first question, and I would like to ask Mr. Kim Norit. I think, can you just tell me what are the similarity and the differences between having job and doing startup, to your understanding?
Okay, so of course, thank you so much for the question, Mr. Nisai. It's a very interesting question. Actually, after I resigned the job, I could see something different between working for a private sector or a company and back to run my own startup. Actually, the first thing that I can see is about the visions. Of course, when we are working for a company, you are trained to understand the vision of the companies. You are trained to understand about the structure, the procedure of the company, even your position. You are trained to understand everything about your position to make sure that you perform your job better. But in startup, you came up with your own vision. You work for your own visions. It's something like a self-learning that you can do. Of course, there is nobody to push you. There is nobody to push you to do something, but you have to remind yourself. You need to keep reminding yourself. You need to learn something. You need to achieve something by your own. That's the first point. I think the second point is about the responsibility. Of course, you're working for a company. You're just responsible for your own position only. For example, if you are a salesman, your responsibility is to achieve your target, the monthly target or the KPI, a good KPI. But for the responsibility of running your own business, you need to manage the whole operation of your startup in terms of the sales and marketing or finance, admin or HR, even HR. So you got more responsibility rather than you work for a company. The last one I would say is about the risk. Of course, you work for a company, there is less low risk. Because of whether the company will grow or something, but you still got a salary. But when you came to run your business, it's a little bit more challenge in terms of the finance, because you need to make sure that all the finance or something need to fit to the business in terms of how to allocate your business or your finance to the operation cost or to the rental fee or to another expense. So, there is more risk when you are running your own business.
Okay.
Yes.
And Mr. Osupia, you have been working as a foreign affairs official for quite some time. So, do you think that you have something different to share?
Of course, concerning the first, Mr. Kim Norit has mentioned earlier, yeah, somehow I agree with his idea that being or to do startup, you take more risk, or if you higher risk, then you choose to work for certain institutions or companies. And yeah, you dare to challenge yourself in a new environment, that everything start from your initiative. You are the pioneer to everything. You have your own vision, your own values and goals and objectives. While being or pursuing a job, okay, you partake into a certain institutions, you follow the structures and values, missions set by even plans set by the institution that you're serving. However, something that have to bear in mind is also we think about the ability and energy that we put into the objectives and missions of the institution. So it depends that it doesn't mean that you start to work, you can't do what you want to do. We have a plan, we have a mission and values, but with your own creativeness in order to achieve the goals and mission and abide by the values of the institution that you're serving for. So it depends on your ability and creativeness and even initiative inside, as long as you can express or carry out your own responsibility to achieve the common goals set by your institution.
Okay. But you work for a government, so
Yeah.
I think you have clear responsibility and also mission. But if someone working for the company, I mean, to be employed, so they just work to achieve some one goal because you work for someone else, not you. So how do you respond to them?
Yeah, before I joined Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I used to work for some time for different institutions also, and yes, there is a dream, but I also have a dream about a job. I don't start up my own, but I have the same dream, because normally when I choose to do something, I'm not just random to work or to select it. I have my own dream. I have my favorite types of jobs and sector, so that if we have a passionate heart in doing something, we're looking for a certain institutions that we believe that they share common sense of the dream as us. Even we work for them, they have already a dream, but we also have our own dream, so that we can work and get along well and carry out it goals and missions and values. Wow, so this is something we have to also consider.
Okay. Mr. T, let me go to you another question. You have been getting involved with the startup and business for quite some time, I think. And did you get job before you switch into business?
First of all, I want to clarify work for someone else. I think the word work for someone else is the wrong way to put in any society. You always work for yourself, and I totally agree with Mr. Supir.
Yeah.
I think for many people, they are not really care about their vision, their mission, or anything at all. They care about daily life, their daily income, and essentially it's money. So they just care about money. So they walk into an organization, they say, I'm working for someone else, because they just go there for the money. So they don't go there for the vision. They don't go there because that organization share the same visions or the same problem, the same problem or method like them. Another thing is that I think entrepreneur don't like risk. So starting a startup is not mean that you dare to risk everything. It's actually entrepreneur hate risk, and you're not going to play a game that you're going to lose. You only go there if you see 90% win. That's what I have been involved for the last 12 years now. But in between 2008 and 2009, I worked for an organization in Siem Reap. The organization carry one simple mission, is to give access to education to Cambodian kids. And at the time, I was so in love with finding a way to get education, more higher purpose education, more higher education to rural kids in the countryside. Because I come from the countryside of Cambodia, and I thought if kids in Cambodia receive a more modern education, which is computer literacy, all of those would lift up one big giant step for the kids in Cambodia. So I joined the organization as an intern for 3 months, and then they asked me to join for 1 year. And but I asked them to only pay me 75% of the total salary, because the under 25% I want to just go and cycle around Cambodia and keep doing my job. My job at the time, personally, was real estate consulting for international investors. So I just cycle around and join with some investors sometime, but then the 75% I dedicated to learn about what problem education in Cambodia has and how to contribute that to solve the problem. So of course, yes, I work for that organization and only one that one. Before that, I was teaching as a Khmer and English teacher at an orphanage, but that when I was a student.
I think it is very interesting about your background, I think. But to me, I mean, quitting job would be one of the scariest part of my life. I mean, I fear of quitting job somehow. Even I'm thinking of doing my own. But how you overcame it? I mean, how you overcame the fear before you quit your job?
Yeah, I think that is the biggest problem for everybody. When you think about quitting a job, it's a big. There's a lot of fear because you get used to something that you feel secure, and then going to another adventure might feel less secure. Yeah. Even though at the time I have been starting my own business since 2007, and then around 2010 I decided to go around the world, travel, and have to quit the job at the organization. Organization didn't pay me very much, but I feel so happy. But I feel less challenging. So I decided to just come to Phnom Penh. I think for anyone to quit what they do, only able if they find the next visions is bigger and more challenging and more rewarding than the current one. Because the thing that you used to actually make you feel a lot more secure. And anybody would look for security, not for. I mean, they wish to join, embark on a venture. They see someone else have a lot of good adventure out there. They want to go, but the thing they do now, the thing they live now, is more comfortable. So only when you find something out there, something you want to do, more challenging yet more rewarding, then you could quit. But I don't suggest quitting a job because you want to quit a job. I think it's a terrible thing. A lot of people want to do that, but they cannot.
Know that I think you have gained a lot of experience in doing business. So can you tell me how can you figure out whether you want to have a job or you want to do a startup? Because I think some people think they are born to do a business and some say they are born to be employed. So how can you explain this?
Okay, so let me share you a little bit about my own experience. Actually, before I also used to work for a corporate company as well. But after I resigned, actually I give myself a month to reflect back. So what I would do next, whether I go to work for the other's company again, or I should start doing my own business. So actually, at that time, I got a job offer by another private company again. So later on, I decided to go to work there. But actually, when I step into that organizations, I feel a little bit pressured because actually I was offered a job as the business development manager. So normally we focus on the sales and target. So at that time, of course, to pass the probation as the sales manager, you have to hit the target totally in 3 months to pass probations and got the official offers as the manager. So at that time, I feel a little bit pressure to myself. So why I have to push myself for 3 months to work for the others? So why don't I challenge myself, give myself 3 months and then start my own business? Maybe I can do much better than I'm working for the others. So that's my thinking at that time. That's why I decided to start my own business actually.
Rati, I think, how do you see the role of passion to motivate individuals to do the startup? How it guarantees the success of each person doing startup?
When it comes to passion, I think it is very important that anyone who wants to run their life, not about business, not about working for someone else, not about working for themselves, it's thinking of what they want to do most. What is the biggest missions or visions they want to achieve in their lifetime, not just like 5 years. And if they can figure out that in their lifetime they want to achieve that particular mission or visions, they then can figure out whether they should go to join a company or they should go and start their own business. And this is very, very important because in doing anything, either running a business or work in any organization, you will hit the wall. What's called that you will have a roadblock, and the only way to get them push through roadblock is when they believe that the road ahead is brighter, and that belief comes from passion.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the reflection. Now we are having 15-minute break. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the reflection. The previous show, we already discussed a lot about the similarity and the differences between doing business and having job. Now we discuss further on how to be a very successful employee. Mr. Osupir,
Yes.
I think you have been paying a lot of attention and also spare a lot of effort to do your work as civil servant. So what motivates you to be committed to your works now?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Everything I could say it start personally from plan. Most of the time in my life, I go with plan. So I think about what I can do. I think about what I want to do, and I think what I can be maybe success in the future. So I said when I always set a plan at different steps. With going with a plan, it helps me to narrow down and to save a lot of energy. Maybe I want to be a public servant serving under the government institution. So after that, it helped me to choose what major to pursue. I pursue international studies at the Royal University of Phnom Penh Institute of Foreign Languages, and then I can later join Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperations. So everything comes from the plan, and the personal plan really shaped me. And then I really enjoy it so much at the end.
Reti, you have both experience in being employee and also now turn to be business person. So a lot of young people now, they are fascinating about running or having their own business, but some of them just begin their startup and then fail right away. I mean, they are not well prepared enough to do the works. So can you tell me what skill or what characteristics a business owner need to have?
So come back to the characteristic of founder or startup owner. I think environment is shaping so many people in many ways that we don't know. So if they hang around people who just want to start a startup because it's cool, I think in Cambodia environment right now, starting a startup because it's cool, starting a startup because they can call themselves a co-founders or a CEO of whatever company, name what it is, after 6 months it's dead, because still they can't find what they long-term want to pursue, like the long-term plan they want to pursue, or they don't really focus on the problem they want to solve and a problem that they can solve. They just miss that point, I think. So in order, I'm not saying that this is the golden word, this is from my observation. In order to run a startup, a sustainable startup, I mean, so far Small World is only sustainable because we can run sustainable. We're not super successful. In many ways we're not yet. Hopefully we will. as a founder, as an organization leader, they have to have a number one passion for whatever they do. That go back to the long-term visions, and then understand that the problem they solve or whatever they do now may pass by something else. So another word is that I learned one thing from my friends, that you married to a problem but not a solution. A lot of people solve simple problem and they are so proud of themselves and they forgot about what's next. So that means they married to the solution. They solve one and they're just so proud, and they forgot that running business is continuous solving problem once after another, although the problem getting bigger or smaller, depends on what they solve. Another two thing is that they have to figure out two specific things that for me they have to understand what they can do in order to go back to achieve what they want to do, because most people just focus on what they want to do too much, that they don't put effort to use their current skill to do the job and then learn along the way, hopefully learn the skill that help them achieve what they want. This is just words throwing out there. I don't know how people catch this, but in my opinion, this is the thing that people are missing. Or not people, I mean business owner or current startup want to be. And that's, don't follow the trend. A lot of people just don't, like, it's so hard to work against the trend, but it's so much reward if you achieve it. But don't follow my word, because this is work for me. I consider myself more like a contrarian. Contrarians is either if the market go 100% left, I would go right. I know that I probably 95% wrong, but as long as I don't hurt people, I don't hurt myself, and as long as I enjoy the journey, then I would go. If the whole world ride motorbike or car, then I would go bicycle, for example.
But it worked for you.
Yeah, it worked, and normally it works for everybody if they would choose, and if they see that and commit to it for long term. I mean, know what they can do, and then they know that they can commit for long term. Probably the best, in my experience, carry me all the way today.
Very interesting. Noted, I think you have been self-employed for almost 1 year, eh?
Yes.
And can you share with us your pressing challenges when you turn into this society of entrepreneurship, something like that? So can you share with us what's the most pressing challenges for you when you started doing it?
Of course, first of all, I would say it's about the skill, because actually being a master of your business or running your own business, you have to understand well about the nature of the business that you are running, because actually skill gives you a competitive advantage to compare with others. Because if you understand well about the business, it would be more convenient you to see or to focus what will happen in the future. So that the first. And another thing, what I'm keep telling myself is to plan and go along well with my visions, because the vision it's just like something that shape you to the goal. It map you. It's direct you to where you want to be, or what you want to see yourself in the next 5 years or next 10 years. And another thing is almost about the experience as well, actually. So, like I mentioned before, working for the others and working yourself, you totally see yourself in different point of view. You need to put all the commitment into what you are doing right now. Even sometimes you are sick, you want to leave for vacations, but of course you still cannot do that, because your absence or your presence will totally affect or impact direct to your team performance. So I would say, like, first about the visions, and second about the skills, and another one is about the communication or network, actually. Because involving with your own business, you have to go out a lot. You need to meet a lot of people. It's also another new challenge to me that I have never done before. So I need to go out and see the people and explain what I am doing right now, because that's only me who understand what I am doing right now. So the best way is I am the one who lead the sale of my project, because if I'm not the one who present it, there is nobody can do that. So I mean, I need to challenge myself a lot. Yep.
So what about dealing with your co-worker or someone who are staying on board to achieve the same goal? How you find out that it is difficult, or it is actually something that simple for you?
Actually, I could see it. I could say it totally difficult. Running the own business is very challenging, and then that's why what I want to do is just like I want to have a partner or co-founder, because only a co-founder who have the same visions along with you, and then you can work together for fathers. Employs the other people to work for us is a little bit hard, because actually we were in a small startup, and then not most of them understand our visions. Not most of them willing to work for a small institute. That's the point. So we need to put a lot of effort to make them go with us.
Here, we already discussed the challenges and also how we should prepare ourselves to do business. I think we know from all the two speakers. But to you, how to prepare to be a good employee? What skill or what characteristic they need to have, especially for government officials like you?
Yes, we do have to have a lot of preparation. In fact, that you have to be ready for the instruction. You have to be ready to join the mission to achieve the common goals and objectives. You have to be prepared for pressures. I don't know how much, because different people they encounter different levels of pressures. It depends on which sector they're serving. If they serve in a private sector or NGO or government institutions, and you have to be ready for that. You have to ensure that you can maintain your stability, your patience, okay, and sustain your commitment to your personal plan and visions, so that I'm not saying that and you follow that and you're gonna be someone very good. No, but the best is that go with a plan also, and then you can be ready for what you are going to do. Because for instance, if you choose to work for private sector, for instance in banking areas, you might prepare yourself in what major I should pursue before I decide to do that. But I suggest that also well in having it very good with a plan. Because personally, I'm not saying this because I'm better than the other, no, but without a plan, I went blank. I am blind without a plan. So that, the only stuff is that looking for yourself, ask yourself if you're ready to do what I mentioned earlier. You're gonna at different time you're gonna encounter that, you're gonna challenge with that, so that so you can sustain your commitment, your passion, and passion is very important. For instance, myself, I don't work for money. I work for what I like to do. I only work on something that I enjoy it and it is beneficial to the society.
So you were saying that we need to understand ourselves. So a lot of people just sacrifice their job and then turn to business. But do you think that we can keep both? I mean, do a daytime job and then start doing our business at the same time?
To me, I don't think that is a wise thing to do. If you don't do anything 100%, you're down to fail. You're bound to fail with both or anything you do. If anyone commit to do anything, either work for an idea, work for a startup, start a startup, work for an organization, anything they do had to be 100%. When they achieve that 100%, then they can do something else. I think, in short, 100% is the only way.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we are running out of time, I think we want to hear opinions and also experiences, sharings by our guest speaker. And the last question is, how can young people prepare to be successful in both fields, being employees or being a business owner? Any one of you can you share with us?
To me, I treat life as non-replayable. In film, in speech, in anything you do, you can always replay. But in life, when it passes, it passes. You can think for the future. I think for myself to live up to 90 years old, because of the scientific improvements, all of that make a lot more people live longer. This is in my way of looking at life, and not business, not employment or anything. But if a person can think about life as that they live for 80 years old, 90 years old, 100 years old, and then life cannot be replayed, then you better choose what you do correctly. Otherwise, you waste a big chunk of your life and then realize in your 80 that you already wasted. And wasted doesn't mean that you work for someone else, or you start your own business and you fail. It's basically you do something that you not enjoy.
To me, I would say, like, first, like, you need to understand yourself first. I mean, understand the weakness and the strength of yourself. So that's the points. And another point is, if you want to run your own business, of course, I have a very short message. So first of all, you need to understand about the scope of the business. How big is it? So you could handle it alone, or you need the people to work with you. If you need people to work with you, how many people in your team member? So you need to keep focus on the people who will go along the journey with you. And another thing is about the finance as well. Actually, finance play very important role in the startup. It can cause a big trouble into the startup, because if you quit your job and then you go to do a startup, for example, like you got like $1,000 per month from your salaries, and then right now you quit a job, so it means you lost $1,000, and then maybe you spend another $1,000 in your business. So totally 1 month you may lose $2,000. So that's the point that you need to think about the finance, how much the capital you have to spare for your business. And another one is about the connection as well. So whether you are working or you do your own startup, you need to build a connection with the people around you. You need to surround yourself with the positive people, because the positive people will bring you the creative idea, will bring you something new that you have never experienced before. Whether you are work for a company or you work for your own startup, I would say you need to build a foundation, a strong foundation for your own first, before you jump to another stage of life. That's it.
Thank you so much, all speakers, for joining us today.
Yep.
And thank you all audience for watching us. And if you have any question, or you want to follow our program, The Reflection, you can like our Facebook page or subscribe to our YouTube channel, ThmeyThmey Media. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Cam-ASEAN. This is a wonderful school for you to master your business English skills as well as your professional skills. Cam-ASEAN has well-appointed classrooms, also a student lounge and a language lab. The language lab is wonderful for them to improve by themselves their English abilities. We have a wonderful conference hall where we host many activities.
I am Sunny. I studied Business English and Skills at Cam-ASEAN, and I'm ready for the ASEAN integration. So why wait? Come and join us now.
ចង់សិក្សាភាសាអង់គ្លេសនិងជំនាញសិក្សានៅ Cam-ASEAN